Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with us, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. So this lesson is about reharmonization. That means we're going to take an existing song and we're going to find new chords to play over the same melody. Now, that means that you're probably going to need to already know about chords and keys and probably intervals, and probably have already several songs that you can play well enough that they actually sound like the song. But even if you can't do that, you might pick up some interesting theory bits along the way. So feel free to join us. The goal, though, is not this song. It's not about the song that we're working on. It's really about taking the concepts you like, the reharmonizations, the substitutions that you like from this lesson, and then applying them to other songs that you already know how to play. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And thankfully, I think that's about all we need to cover before the lesson. So if you'd stick around afterwards and fill out the survey, I would love your feedback. But for now, let's have some fun and make some music.
There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. When my heart feel like December when somebody say your name, 'cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day, yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday, but everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today, toast to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your
Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and today we're going to try reharmonizing this song, Memories, on purpose as opposed to randomly, like I was just doing there. But this all starts with you being able to do what we did in the lesson last week and play all of the chords for this in a row, and it goes pretty quickly. It doesn't have to if you don't use the track. You can just go at whatever speed you want, or you can use YouTube, I guess, and slow that down. There's a feature in there that you can do that. In fact, I think enough people don't know how to do that. I'm going to go ahead and show you that thing right there. So on any video, if you click on the settings right here, and this also works on mobile, then you can go to playback speed right there, and then you've got all these options. Now, if you're not on mobile, if you're on a laptop or whatever, you can click on custom and then change the speed to whatever you want. It's been a feature there for a long time, but I always run into most students who don't know that exists. So you can slow down any song and practice with a slower version of it. But for copyright reasons, we only provide you with the original materials here, and that's going to be at the original speed as well for the play along track that you have here. So let me review that real quick and let all the people who are like, nope, I can't do that yet, jump out of the lesson and either go back to last week's lesson or find something else to do. And then the rest of us who can play this, or at least understand what this is and are interested in the concept, to play this and move along. So the first one is a B chord. That is that right there, probably with a B in the bass. And the next one is an F sharp chord, which is that one right there. And I'm stealing these from up top there. So it's B and then F sharp, and then G sharp minor that we talked about last week. It's a G sharp and a B and a D sharp, and then a D sharp minor, which is those ones right there, and then an E, and then a B, and then the last two chords of the entire song are E, and then F sharp. So I think there's only a grand total of, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chords total, and then 8 different switches, because some of them repeat. You got 2 F sharps in there, you got 2 E's in there, and you got 2 B's in there. So a lot of the chords repeat. So that might be assignment number 1 for you, is just to like try going through and playing all of the chords at the right time. Maybe not even with the left hand, but with just the right hand, it would be something like
There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain,
D sharp,
when I believed in forever, and everything would stay the same.
F sharp, and then loop it around.
And my heart feel like December
F sharp,
when somebody say your name.
D sharp minor.
Cause I can't reach out to call.
So it's a lot. It's a lot of moving around, and it goes pretty quick. So maybe that's your assignment, is just to work on that thing. But for everybody else who's here for the reharm thing and you're all set and ready to go, let's take a look at the first thing we would do in reharmonizing any song, is to play around with the 7s and the 9s and the 6s, which are also the 13s. What does that mean? So for the key of B is all of these notes right here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Those ones right there. So we're going to use those notes. Maybe that was your assignment right there, is to work on playing the key of B through there. So if you just play the notes for the key of B.
There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same, and my heart feel like December.
So these are all the notes for the key of B. All right, cool. So then we've got the key of B, and then we're going to just add in the note that is one note to the left inside of the key to each of these chords. So playing a B, one note to the left would be this right here. Now, technically, this is the 1, this is the 3, and this is the 5, because it's the first note, the third note, and the fifth note of the scale, or first note, third note, and fifth note counting from the root inside the scale. Okay, so if that made sense, then if not, then let me know. But if that made sense, then we just go one note to the left, and we'd come up with the 7, because this is the 1. So we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the 7 right there, which happens to be one note away from the root. So no matter where you put that 7, it's still the 7. So we could just put that note in right there, and that would be the 7 of B. Sounds kind of weird on its own. That right there, it's kind of clashy. You might want to decide to put it up there. That's not quite as clashy. Still sounds pretty jazzy though. So anyway, that's the 7, and that works on all the chords. So we go to the F sharp chord. One note to the left in the key of B is that guy right there. In fact, let's go ahead and zoom in, and I'll show you the key of B. Here we go. That's the key of B. So right here, that's our B chord. That is the 7 of the B chord. Here's our F sharp chord. One note to the left of that root would be this guy right here. So that'd be your F sharp 7, G sharp minor, is this guy, and one note to the left in the key of B, it would be that one right there. So that would be your G sharp minor. Even though this is the lowest note in the right hand, you'd still play a G sharp in the left hand as your root. Cool. And I know that people are like dropping off as we go on and we use more and more words. So my recommendation is that you take this lesson and just, like, make up your own assignment, which is whatever point it doesn't make sense anymore and you're like, no, that doesn't make any sense at all, I can't do that. Then step back from there and make that your assignment. Just work on that last thing that made sense. Or if you're like, wait, no, I think I almost got that, then let me know, because that's probably the thing you need to work on next. But everyone's got a different assignment here, and as you feel yourself dropping off, that doesn't mean that you're a failure or that you can't do this lesson. It just means you found your assignment from this lesson, because there's like 100 assignments coming out of this lesson. Okay, so we've got G sharp, and that is the 7 of it. That's one note to the left of the G sharp minor. And then D sharp minor, we would throw in one note to the left of that and play D sharp in the left hand. And then the E, we throw in one note to the left right there, and that's the E. And then we already played the B. That's one note to the left of the root in the key of B, and then we're back up to the E and the F sharp that we already did. Okay, so then the other thing it says we could do is add in the 9s. And the 9 is going to be one note to the right of the root. So if that last thing made sense, you're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So this is our B, and then one note to the left, right there. That's adding in the 7 of the B, and the 9 is going to be one note to the right. So it's going to be this one right here. That's going to be your B chord, even though it doesn't have a B in it, because you're going to play the B in the left hand. So that's your B with a 7 and a 9. So let me zoom back out now so you can see more of these guys. Here we go. That's our B with a 7 and a 9 on it. And then the F sharp, one note to the left and one note to the right of the root. Still hang on to our root down here. So B to F sharp. And for a lot of you, that is your assignment, is to take just those first 2 chords and practice going back and forth between them. Okay, that's my F sharp. That's my B that doesn't have a B in it. That's my F sharp that doesn't have an F sharp in it. And then the G sharp would look like this, because that was our G. That's one note to the left. That's one note to the right, staying inside the key of B. And then D sharp, we'd go there, and I'm going to say for this one, even though we're going outside of the key, I would play that one as my 9. I think that sounds really cool. You could also play that, but I don't think it's going to sound very good. So for that one, that D sharp, I'd go outside of the key of B. And then E and B and E and F sharp. And if we just do that much, now we have added 7s and 9s. We haven't really touched 6s or 13s yet. 6s and 13s are kind of the same thing. But just with the 7s and the 9s, already this song is going to sound significantly different from the original. So once again, the original, if we just play the chords, that's a lot of your assignments, is just playing the chords, it would sound like this.
There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name, 'cause I can't reach out to call.
Now adding in the 7s and the 9s.
Well, one day,
right here.
Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. But everything gon' be alright. Go raise a glass and say, here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not, 'cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through.
So I really haven't changed the chords at all. I've just added in additional color tones to the to what we already had, and already it sounds kind of different. Also, I can hear you asking the question because a lot of you noticed that, like, when I was playing these, I played them a lot lower, and then as soon as I added the 7s and the 9s, I kind of popped my hand up an octave. That's just because I think down here, like the lower, that sounds like too many notes all clustered together to me. I don't like the sound of that. So I decided I would keep, since I'm adding more and more notes in, kind of the more clustered your notes get, the higher up you want to be, so you can really hear each one of those notes ringing out. And the more spread out the notes are, the lower you can go and have it still sound pretty decent. So anyway, that's why I jumped up when I played the chords up there. It has nothing to do with like playing it the right way or anything. I just don't like the sounds of those clusters way down. Okay, that feels like a lot to me already. We've added in the 7s and the 9s. Now, adding in the 6s, you would just, of course, go one note even lower than the 7. So taking back to the key of B. So in the key of B, instead of adding in that note, if that's the 7, that would be the 6. So you go 2 notes down to the left on any of these chords, staying inside of the key of B, and you would land on the 6. So that'd be a B6 right there. It's the regular B chord plus the 6, which also could be considered the 13, depending on, I won't get into when 6 or the 13. So that'd be probably, I would call that a B6 right there. Might want to even throw in the 9 with that, or play it like we were playing the 7. We'll play the 6 instead of the 7. So anyway, the 6 and the 7 are something you can kind of play around with and see which one you want to do. But that's pretty advanced, playing the 7s and the 9s, and then considering doing some of the 6s in between there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is add in stuff from the circle of fifths, which I think is pretty scary and probably a higher assignment than most people are going to want to do for this song. So for most people, I would say practice the chords, add in the 7s, add in the 9s, and then I guess for everybody else, let's move this thing to the intermediate level, which looks something like this. So it's time to transition into the intermediate portion of the lesson. And of course, intermediate is a worthless term because we're all intermediate players. Everybody, you and I included, have people who are looking up to us, who are thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. And you and I both have people that we're looking up to, thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. So this is just the part of the lesson where you have permission, if you have found some little nugget of something that is difficult to do, but that makes sense, to take off and go practice it. Don't feel bad about that. Of course, if you want to stick around, you might pick up some extra stuff too, and we'd love to keep chatting with you. But I just want to let all of the new students know you're not supposed to try everything in every lesson. And I want to give everybody else a chance to go get something to drink and take a bathroom break. But it's time to get back to it. Let's go. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out, and if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.